in.
Where did you dig up that old fossil?
Going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
That's no move.
We're all fine here now, thank you. How are you?
Welcome to the Star Wars Nerds Podcast. I'm Dan Vedebonker.
And I'm Kenton Larson.
And, you know...
What, is my mic on now?
Yes. I have to turn it off because you keep talking over the intro. Now, you know...
Making noises, I believe is what I was doing.
Most of the YouTubers and podcasters that follow Star Wars, like us, were on the internet within minutes of the new trailer dropping. Within minutes.
Yeah.
Expressing their reaction and talking about it. We like to take the slow route. We take a couple of days to really let it sink in.
Not only did we wait a couple days to let it sink in, but I was at the Morrissey concert, as you know, which we'll talk about more.
Yeah.
When the trailer got launched, and I did not watch it until 2 hours after it was launched for the first time ever. I will admit that I watched the first 3 seconds of it at Morrissey, and then I was like, "This is pointless," so I didn't.
Yeah, I had a similar experience. I was actually. It's funny because this is actually the second time in a row that we've had a Star Wars trailer drop on election night in Canada. Last time in 2015, our last federal election, I remember being at home and watching the trailer. It must have been for The Force Awakens because it was 2015. And trying to buy tickets on the website. We were trying to buy tickets as well at the same time. Now, I wasn't working that time. I wasn't working in the media.
Unlike this time.
I was working in the media this time.
Yeah.
So I was out covering the election. And shout out to Jeremy, by the way, whose dad won the seat in Marty Morantz, who won. And his son, Jeremy, is our former student.
Yes.
He was there, and he tells me he listens to the podcast all the time. So shout out to Jeremy. Congratulations to you and your dad for winning that seat.
Jeremy's book is up next on my reading list.
Oh, okay.
He wrote a book for
Very
his
good.
independent professional project, and I have not yet read it, but I bought it, and I'm going to read it next.
Yeah, he's that's a very, very good book. Okay, so what do we want to tackle first? You want to tell the Morrissey concert story?
We'll tell the story. Here in Canada, the tickets went on sale 5 hours early, or whatever it was. How early was it? It was before the trailer.
Before the trailer dropped, and I was surprised actually because thanks to Mr. Schiffman for giving us the heads up. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known.
I actually got a text at the same time from another friend at the Morrissey show.
Okay.
Not in my row, to saying they're on sale. Virtually maybe a seconds apart.
Okay, so. Yeah, so Chris was messaging us and letting us know they were on sale, and he was on the, I think they went on sale on the Landmark Cinemas first.
That I'm unaware of. I only have a Cineplex app, and in the past, Landmark website and online anything has just been a complete shit show.
Right.
And that's why we've had to go to, in the past, I've had to drive to Grant Park to buy the tickets, physically. Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
Because
I think you did that on the night of the night of the election night. You had to buy the physical tickets.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And it was good. I mean, there was no problem. There was no mad rush of people. There's no lineup. It's fine.
It's funny, though.
But their website didn't actually have the Star Wars movie. Was it Last Jedi? Was that the one?
No, I think it would have been The Force Awakens.
All right. I just don't remember now.
Yeah.
But the website didn't have it up. The Landmark website was brutally slow.
Yeah.
Took them a day.
Now, Chris said, in his messages to us, that this was possibly the best ticket buying experience so far of the modern era of Star Wars in the last 4 years.
Well, good for him.
Not so much for you.
Well, yeah. So here's the story. So I'm on my Rogers 16G. I think we're up to 16 now. And on my mobile app, it never works, by the way. We know this app doesn't work. It's hit and miss.
It's hit and miss. Yeah. It very much is, yes.
So sometimes, if you want to get tickets to some shitty movie you don't want to see, there's no problem. If you're anxious and excited to buy
Hustlers,
tickets.
you got your tickets for Hustlers.
So I went through the process 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and buying us 3 tickets to go see the opening night of the Rise of Skywalker, and there's no confirmation. And the web page appears to be hung up. And I check my account. There's no tickets that I have purchased in my account. I check my email. There's no email confirming any purchase. And I'm like, fuck this. Oh, sorry, pardon.
That's okay.
But that's right. I can say it on this podcast.
Yeah.
So I was like, F this. Oh, no. Now I don't want to say it. So I was angered, and I thought I couldn't buy the tickets. I texted my friend, and I'm like, can you get through? And he's like, bottom. I was like, what? So I'm trying. The confirmation page will not work. Then suddenly, so finally, one of the confirmations works. I'm like, fine. Later at the concert, I look under my account and there's 4 sets of 3 tickets. So it took all of the purchases and I guess it was some lag time or something. So none of it was working, and I did not get email confirmation until the concert was well over. So I had no idea. I didn't know that I had purchased the tickets. It gave me nothing to tell me that I should have any reasonable expectation to have them. So now sitting in front of me, I have
15 tickets.
2, 3, 4 sets for the same time at the same theater.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then I have one for 11 o'clock. So my thinking was, this is what I thought we could do. We go to the first showing, record a podcast, go to the second showing.
Yeah, we could do that.
I think that'd be pretty good.
At the same theater? Is that the thing?
Same. We could just sit our asses in the seats. It doesn't even matter.
I could bring a microphone there. We could just record it. Okay, let's do that.
Why don't we do that?
That sounds like good.
Okay, so two sets of these we're going to use them.
All right.
The question is, and then one set you're going to use for. I'm
going to give some tickets away at the FanQuest Halloween Ball this weekend. Yeah.
Okay, and then I can get rid of the other 2 sets.
Okay.
Or whatever, which sounds pretty not bad to me. but we need to determine. Are we going to do it on the podcast? We need to look at the seating and see which of these tickets.
No, we'll do that after. Don't worry about it. We'll figure that out.
You
after.
sure you don't want people to know how the cheese gets made?
That's okay.
So we're well endowed with Star Wars tickets.
There you go.
That was
an embarrassment of riches.
That
of
was
Star
a
Wars
pregnant
tickets.
pause.
I get it. Now wouldn't be an episode of the Star Wars Nerds podcast without a segment of This Week in Star Wars Clickbait.
What? How? What are you talking about? Huh? What? Goodness gracious me.
As I get my phone out because I didn't have it ready to go. But this one just killed me. I mean, and now we're in the middle of it. Now there's a ton. Now that we have the trailer, there's so much clickbait out there. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, longest Star Wars movie ever.
Yes. So apparently so.
But doesn't that make it sound like it's super long? Like that is just a misleading headline.
It makes it sound like it's 17 hours long.
It's 155 minutes, which is 3 minutes longer than the last one. Ooh.
Does that include the credits, by the way?
I don't know. I never know how they measure this. I always kind of confused actually when I go see a movie and it says so this many minutes long, and I'm expecting to be out of there that amount of time plus another 20 minutes for previews. And we know they're going to load up the previews for this one. We're going to have a good half hour of trailers and ads ahead of this one, just like we have every Star Wars movie. But that shouldn't count towards the runtime. But sometimes I come out of the theater and I'm like, hey, it's exactly the time they said it was going to be. That's so weird to me. I don't know what happens there. It's like you go into this alternate time warp dimension when it comes to the previews that doesn't count against real time. But so the runtime is 155 minutes. That's what that article is saying.
I want them to add the time it takes us to walk to the car,
to
buy the popcorn.
Yeah, exactly.
Give us the full time.
I want to know that my full movie going experience included in that.
Yeah, I want my travel time to and from home. Added to
so I mean it's a non-story. It really who cares at this point? We've already had a 2.5 hour Star Wars film. I can't remember. I think Revenge of the Sith is up there as well. It's a good more than 2 hours for sure. I don't know how long it was, but The Last Jedi was 2.5 hours and it was fine. I mean, we all kind of acknowledge there's one section that could be cut of that film that we didn't need, and we've kind of already gone over that, but. Yeah, it's a good movie. We like that movie, and the runtime doesn't matter. 2.5 hours is not a ton of time in respect to these. I mean, the Avengers Endgame was 3 hours long, so
right.
It's okay.
That one I felt. That one was long.
Okay.
Yeah, that one to me seemed. I mean, there were parts of the movie that went by fast, but there's certainly parts of the movie where I was like, oh, what are we, hour 15 here? Like, but I also noticed that my tolerance for sitting in a theater has changed since now we watch everything or most things at home. Mm-hmm. So when you get into the theater, every time as all the commercials start, and you're kind of like, how long is this going to take? And then you see the trailers, and you're like, okay. And then you see the Pegasus unicorn running for Orion Pictures or whatever.
Orion.
And everybody goes,
reference.
Pegasus. And you're like, how long is this going to take? and then the movie ends, and they've updated the logo. And
the best part, this does not happen in Star Wars films because there's just the one. we might get the Disney swoosh thing over the castle, but there's just the Lucasfilm logo, and then it goes right into Star Wars. But the funny thing is, about some movies is that there's a million different production companies involved, and they show the logo for each one. Sometimes it's 5 or 6. Literally, it's 5 or 6 in a row of these different companies that are involved in the making of the movie, which I find hilarious. But yeah, going to the theater, I think it's going to be. We are going to absolutely have a ton of ads. That's the thing we don't get normally when we go to the theaters. There's usually a couple of ads, but every time we go to a Star Wars film, it's just packed full of advertising, because you're never going to have that big of a captive audience. Only once every 2 years do you get that big of a captive audience. One could argue the Marvel films are as big of a deal as Star Wars, but I don't think so. I still don't think that's quite the case. So I look forward to seeing all these awkward ads, and of course we'll talk about it on the podcast when we see them.
Well, we're seeing it, and IMAX doesn't usually. They're usually light on the. They're
is that right?
Yeah, it's usually not as bad. Like, you usually get the big screen, large sound, large man sitting next to you,
salty snacks.
Salty snack. If you feel dizzy, put your head between the legs of the person next to you. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, but you remember they used to give you the dizzy warning and all that? It was all just hype.
Yeah, they did. Well, that was IMAX back in the first incarnation at the here in Winnipeg. It was downtown in Portage Place.
They had a little kid introduce the film
when they would just do like nature documentaries and stuff for some reason. I don't know why it took that long for IMAX to become like a more mainstream thing. It was a long time.
It was a long time
before we actually saw movies being made in IMAX. Yeah, but that's good. I like the IMAX. I think it's probably my favorite way to see a movie is in the IMAX screen.
We do not have douchebag seats.
That's okay. I'm okay with that. I will probably, next time I watch it, I'll probably take the kids to see it and with the D-bag seats. I know Chris Shipman told us he is in his usual D-bag seats, so he's going to enjoy that.
They named them after him, I heard.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
So,
I like, we just insult our listeners. Okay, who else do we need to insult today?
Jeremy.
That's right.
Joking. But no, I did see The Last Jedi in D-bag, and I think it was interesting. It was a lot of fun. I really did like it.
I shut it off at a certain
kids loved
point.
it. My kids absolutely loved the D-box, so we'll probably go see it on that weekend. I expect to see this movie probably at least 3 times in the first couple days. Like, we'll see it twice in the same day, and then I'll take my kids on the Saturday or something to go see it, and then,
And I guess the marketing has taken hold a bit, where it does seem like it's the end of an era, though it isn't the end of Star Wars. That part's a little bit deceptive in some ways, I guess, but it's the end of the
saga.
But they haven't numbered the films for the last 3. That's been buried in the marketing. It has not been. They've numbered them when you go to inside the theater, but it is nowhere on the marketing.
True.
So it's a little confusing how they're marketing this, I think. Once again.
Speaking of marketing,
for like the non-crazy fans,
I did mention. I felt like I mentioned this, but I did not say it on this podcast. That the weekend before that. Now, of course, the way they rolled this out, as they usually do, is they played it during a football game. Neither of us could watch it live on the football game because we were both in other ways. And I had a very similar experience to you in that I tried watching it on my phone. I was in a big kind of campaign headquarters full of people and celebrating and yelling, and I'm like trying to watch it on my phone. I'm like, you know what, this is not going to work. So I just turned it off until I could get home, and I just watched it on my TV when I got home. The weekend before, they rolled it out during the football game, which is aired on TSN here in Canada.
Yeah.
The weekend before, on the Saturday, I was watching the football game at a friend's, a Winnipeg Blue Bombers game, and every commercial break, they would show a promo for the new trailer. Watch the final trailer on TSN, and they'd show a couple of clips from this trailer that we just saw, and I'm like, that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, like an ad for an ad, but we don't even know when it's airing. It didn't tell us. It didn't tell us when it was airing, which I thought was really weird.
And actually, as things worked out for me, I bought the tickets before the concert started, which was good, which was perfect. But the trailer launched after the concert had begun. So I had no problem. Like, it could have been worse for buying the tickets. Like, I got some extras, but that wasn't the,
at least you got
whatever.
Them.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really matter to me. This will be the last time I think I'll go app crazy. But when the trailer came out, I couldn't, like, at a concert, I watched the first 2 seconds. I was like you, or I was just like, what's the point? Like, I'm just going to ruin
No,
this.
you're not going to see it. And I still, like, even though I got home and I watched it on the TV, I still don't feel I was as excited about it as I would have been if I'd been able to watch it live on ESPN or TSN or whatever during the football game. I don't even know if they had any awkward stormtroopers out there or anything. I don't know what happened.
I had it recorded, and I was like, what's the point? It's now it's on YouTube, and it's everywhere. It was on the trailers app.
It did seem to, and I would love for somebody to let us know if there was a delay of when it aired, because it really did seem late to me. It was like closer to 10 o'clock when the trailer dropped, and I feel like it was supposed to be during halftime of the game between the Patriots and some other football team, the Jets maybe, which are both East Coast.
The Winnipeg Jets?
No.
Just kidding.
The New York Jets, one of 10 million teams in New York. But those are both East Coast teams. So if it aired on the East Coast, halftime would have been like maybe 8 o'clock-ish, it seems to me. Like, it seems weird that the trailer didn't go online for what seems like a couple hours after it would have aired on TV.
Let's not forget who the true people who get punished, and that is the folks in England, like in Europe, where the tickets still apparently went on sale to coincide with the Super Bowl, or not the Super Bowl, the football ad. So they have to get up. So 6 hours later.
Oh, my God, in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So they I actually saw a news item from, I might even been BBC, saying, when do you have to get up to buy the tickets? Like, oh, can you imagine?
How about if they all just agree to sleep until a normal time of day, and then they wake up at 7 a.m. and buy the tickets like everybody else? Like, that seems like a weird
That's actually
thing.
mean. It's actually cruel to people to make them get up at 4 a.m. Then you're not going to fall back asleep. You're going to have a shitty day.
No kidding.
Actually, that day, last Monday, was a busy day with lots happening.
Oh, yeah.
Like between the election and I have a full day of school, of course, and the concert and trying to watch the trailer, and you're just kind of running ticket worries and all that, and you're running all over the place. It's nuts.
Shall we watch the trailer? Are you ready to watch it and talk about it?
Let's watch
right.
Watch the trailer.
It's an instinct. A feeling. The Force brought us together. We're not alone. Good people will fight if we lead them.
People keep telling me they know me. No one does.
But I do.
Long have I waited. And now you're coming together. Is your undoing.
What are you doing there, 3PO?
Taking one last look, sir, at my friends.
Confronting fear is the destiny of a Jedi. Your destiny. The Force will be with you.
Always.
So I'll tell you when I really get emotional, when I really feel like the excitement, it's when the main theme kicks in, when the John Williams score kicks in.
You and I are on the same page.
Like that's what up until that point I'm like, okay, and then all of a sudden, as soon as they go to that moment, I'm like, yes, that's when I really get excited.
I'm
about
with
it.
you on this.
So,
To me, the big story behind of this trailer is the music.
yeah, it's very, very good.
That's the part of this trailer that spoke to me the first time I saw it. And in fact, the first time I saw this trailer, my major impression was it's not great.
I
How did you feel?
would agree with that. We're seeing a lot of different images here. You can see various scenes, but none of them tells us anything about the story, which I think is, of course, is deliberate. Yeah. There are some great shots in this trailer. Like I like the in particular, I like the one where they're like blasting the stormtroopers down the hallway. Where is that? And there's this one, of course, when they all get into the Millennium Falcon and that kind of stuff. We got the lightsaber duel on the I don't know, ship, barge, whatever that is. But there's that scene. I love it. They're just running down the hallway. Yeah, right here, where it says "This Christmas," this Christmas, blast a stormtrooper, and they're like just running and blasting these stormtroopers. I love it. That's so. It takes me back to the first film.
That particular shot really, the running.
But just the black, like, stormtroopers are cannon fodder, and we've, like, forever that's been the case. They've never been able to shoot. That's the running joke, and they get mowed down, and that happens in the first movie. One of the very first scenes in Star Wars when we see them pull up and you see the rebels fighting the stormtroopers, and they're just kind of just blasting them and knocking these guys down. So that's kind of what that reminds me of. So that's a great shot, and there's a couple shots like that I really liked. But it doesn't tell us anything really story-wise. We can speculate, of course. I'm sure we will. But
can you take it to there's the lightsaber. There's something I want to look at that I did not notice. There's a scene with them with their lightsabers hitting the statue, and it's a Darth Vader statue.
Yeah. I think it's a Force vision. It's
Darth Vader's mask there, right?
Yeah, that's Darth Vader's mask.
Somebody on the Steel Wars podcast said that there's Chewie's bandolier is sitting on the table in the background.
Yeah, that's what that looks like. Yeah, but
oh god, Eagle! I cannot believe that somebody noticed that.
Well, people go through this frame by frame, like we're doing right now. But I don't think this is a real. I think this is a Force vision because Kylo Ren's wearing his mask. It's not wrecked as it was in the previous. Oh, maybe it's a little bit. But
are they fighting? I'm confused. They're fighting each other or together? No.
Well, this looks like they're both kind of No, they're both smashing the Darth Vader statue
intentionally.
Yeah. That's what that is. But I'm sure it's a Force vision. That's got to be a Force vision. Right?
What, the statue?
No, everything. Like, this is going to be part of his Force vision.
I don't think so. That was like Cloud City to me.
Well, exactly. It's a vision. It's like
No, I don't think so. I think this is real life.
I don't think so. I disagree.
That's interesting.
Why,
no, I never.
That's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, why would somebody have a statue of Darth Vader anywhere?
Well, because the Imperial, after the whole Cloud City fiasco, the Imperial set up the garrison there as they threatened to do. As Vader threatened to do, and then they have statues for the guy. And
it's funny. I just read it. I'll post this piece. I'll find it somewhere. I read it maybe a week or two ago, and this guy wrote this funny blog post about Darth Vader's plan during that whole Cloud City thing, where he doesn't come get them right away. He decides to set a table for dinner, make it look like they're coming to dinner, and then I'll be at the table. And he's like, he kind of runs through like Darth Vader telling them his plan, and they're like, we'll just take them to you.
Right.
Why don't you just come and we'll give them that's the deal. It's like, no. I want them to think they're going to dinner, and then I'm going to surprise them. And Boba Fett, you're going to step out at the end and reveal yourself.
But you know what? I'm glad that was the plan because that's maybe my favorite scene in all of Star Wars.
Yeah, no, it's very
when
good.
It opens up and he's like, pow, 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 and you're just scared because they've never been face to face. Like the whole thing is just,
very good.
you don't have enough time to think about the dinner.
No, exactly.
But and of course, Darth Vader and Boba Fett can't eat with their masks on. So
that's right. They use straws.
Yeah,
it does appear based on this trailer that 3PO and R2D2 are more involved. Hopefully.
Oh, I hope
because they're in quite a few shots. Now there's a lot of BB-8 as well, but there's the key moment right in the middle there where 3PO says, "Taking one last look at my friends."
I thought that line was cheesy as can be.
Well, it is.
But I'm listening to other podcasts and they love it and they're getting all the feels from that line.
How are they his friends? He's barely spent any time with them.
And they don't recognize him and they don't care to speak to him when they do.
Exactly.
And I think this is Chewie, we're home. This is this moment of Chewie, but this is probably a sign that he will not die.
No, but it looks like they're uploading his consciousness into something. He's got a bunch of wires coming out of the back of his head. So it's kind of like similar to in Solo when they upload that droid's, what's the name of the droid?
Lando's friend.
Whatever her name is. I don't remember her name. Yeah. Fleabag. Turns out it's the same actor that plays Fleabag.
I forgot about that.
That's right. Phoebe Waller-Bridge does the voice of it. So anyway, Fleabag gets uploaded to
I thought it was Joan Rivers.
That's
no,
right.
Just kidding.
She gets uploaded to the Falcon's computer, so she becomes the Falcon. So this is a similar thing. It's not the Falcon. Clearly, it's not the Millennium Falcon. But they upload 3PO into some kind of computer to do something. I don't know what that could be. It kind of looks like the background kind of looks like the wrecked Death Star. It looks like a little bit like that kind of that background lattice work or whatever that is. It looks a little bit like the Death, like the Imperial architecture of the Death Star.
I like that you say lattice work.
You know.
I find the soffit and the fascia are probably a little crumbly in that picture.
I don't know.
But I just think we know that he has red eyes in the other trailer.
So I forgot about that.
Yeah. So this is that's got to be post-op
That's
the
right.
red eyes, and then whatever. So something happens.
He
to
becomes
him.
evil 3PO.
Right. And we've seen promo pictures with him holding the bandolier. So maybe he can't. Maybe he becomes like a weaponized droid.
Yeah, it could be. Or you give him death mode, like 3PO goes into death mode.
Yeah, it certainly seems like it. We have a stone chair.
What do you think about that? We hear the Emperor's voice at that time, so that's like meant to convey that this is the Emperor's throne somehow.
The Emperor's toilet.
Well, it looks like, it looks, very reminiscent of the game of the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones. But but this is like something that's been, it looks like it kind of throws out our theory of the Emperor has been trapped in the wreckage this whole time. I don't know.
It's a scary chair. Did you buy it at a furniture store?
No.
Like how? What?
But if someone had time to make this for him?
Yeah.
That's my question. Who would make this for him and why?
It had to be existing already.
Maybe.
It is. I think that Ralph McQuarrie drew this chair for Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay. For the Emperor.
I think so.
Okay.
I think this was or maybe it was a Vader castle. It was something like the Vader castle showed up in Rogue One.
Yeah.
I don't know. This could no, I don't know.
It's too
old. Yeah.
It's meant to be this kind of like we should see this before that. They're flying into this iceberg.
Yeah.
So maybe it's in there. I don't know. They're not really being very clear about it. But then we have kind of this whole. You have the Star Destroyers rising up out of the ocean, which is also a very cool shot. I really like that shot of these kind of just kind of coming up out of the water. Like it never occurs to me that these could be in the water. Of course they could be. They're airtight, right? Then we have this of all the rebel ships gathering together. Oh, there's the ghost.
The ghost is there. Right?
Oh, look at that. That's cool.
That's the one that everybody can see. But I don't believe we'll see inside the ghost. I don't think.
No. It's just like let's take every model of every ship we've ever made for Star Wars and throw them all in this one scene. Because I think what's meant to happen here is that at the end of the last movie there were like not very many of them left and they're kind of defeated. But now everyone's going to come together to fight, and that's what this is.
Looks like a pretty impressive. I think the money shots in this film are going to be the insane space battle. Biggest space battle ever.
Yeah, it's going to put Jedi to shame. Return of the Jedi to shame. I think that to me is the best space battle in Star Wars is Return of the Jedi.
I love it. Yeah.
But this one is going to be insane, and I really hope it doesn't revolve around another Star Destroyer a Death Star, which I don't think it will.
I also want Lando and Chewie to be in the final attack in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, there's some shots of that happening.
I hope that's what that is.
I think that's very likely.
Let's not kill Lando and Chewie. By the way, let's not kill them.
No, let's not do that.
I don't think we're not really getting a hint that in this trailer that anybody dies, but for C-3PO maybe. And I don't know, but I don't think they'd show us that if they actually kill C-3PO. Do you?
I don't. Well, if they're uploading his consciousness into another computer, then he doesn't die. He just shuts down, and that's it. Like it's not like he's gonna get blown up or anything like that.
He becomes a running gag in other films when they download his consciousness.
All you need to do is put him in an app. You download the 3PO app. You've got 6 million forms of communication in one app. That's all you need. What do you think of this lightsaber battle on the ship on the ocean?
It looks cool, but I get the sense that this will end with them fighting together.
Yeah. I don't think this is one that happens later in the film. I think it happens earlier. Mm-hmm. And I agree. I think that after this trailer, I definitely get the sense that we're going to see a redeemed Kylo Ren. I did not get that sense after The Last Jedi. I thought that he's like evil for sure. But now it's like, well, I don't know. Like there's all these kind of things. And the Emperor, he has no loyalty to the Emperor. And if the Emperor just shows up and says, by the way, I'm taking over now, then he'd be pretty pissed about it, right?
Yeah.
So he saw hints of them working together. Now, of course, we also have seen an image of a dark Rey, so maybe she turns, but I don't think that's going to be the end. I think that they are going to end up working together, but he might die. My suspicion is that he might die saving her or something like that to redeem himself, very similar to the way Vader died at the end of Return of the Jedi to save Luke. Just because I think that would be like, if we're going to go like he's the Darth Vader character in this series, then that would kind of follow. Because we never did get, like, in the original trilogy, I never got the sense that Darth Vader was going to turn good at the end. That was a surprise to me, right? So this would be a surprise as well to people who really don't think about it as much as we do.
Yeah.
So there you go. But it looks like a very good, very cool lightsaber battle. I'm excited to see that. What else? What else is about this jump
Well,
out
there,
at you?
well, there's space horsies and there's.
I like the space horses.
I like anything with Lando in it. There he's in the middle of.
Yeah.
Rebel
This is the
briefing room.
group. So I think this is on Endor. Do you think this Jungle Planet
Yeah.
is on Endor?
Oh yeah, probably.
This is So here's Lando. He sure like draws your eye. It's a big crowded room, but there he is with his yellow shirt and blue cape. So and that looks like Akbar, but we know Akbar died, so it must be another one of those species.
Yeah.
There's 3PO. So they're kind of gathering together to talk about stuff. Oh, there's Poe right there.
Yeah.
And there's the Rose.
I didn't even see her the first time I watched this trailer.
Oh, really?
I totally missed it.
This is like the what's it called? Blockade runner ship. One of them, anyway. There was a couple different versions of that, but that's one of those ships. We go back to the ocean. What else is in here?
We also have Finn walking through the mist too.
It's funny when she says, "Everyone keeps telling me they know me."
Yeah.
I don't know, who's telling her that? Why would you go, "Hey, I know you"? Like,
well, knowing you're hungry for some pizza right about now. You don't know me. Nobody knows that I actually am vegan. Dun, dun, dun.
Now, one thing that got me freaked out until I re-listened to it at the very end, because the very end of it goes, "The Force will be with you," and it's Luke's voice, and then it changes voices and says, "Always." And I'm like, whose voice is that? Who's that supposed to be? And it's Leia. It's obviously Leia's voice.
Is
right?
it?
Yeah. If you want me to play it.
Well, we have it freeze framed on the Emperor. You saw the Emperor on the left there?
Yeah, there's the Emperor.
But I did not notice that. The first 6 times I saw this,
Okay.
I was looking at her. I was not
well, that's what you're meant to look at,
right? So I didn't even see that he was there, but that's clearly him.
Yep.
And maybe it looks like he's in some high chair,
High
high medical.
It's
some
it's
medical
got some
chair.
lights and some tubes coming out of it. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, I think
he
it
needs to be
is.
heavily medicated. Oh, sorry.
Oh, was there lightning coming out of him there? Just in that last frame.
Hold on.
I think there was. Oh no, it's just lightning in the sky.
The Force will be with you.
Always.
That's Carrie Fisher.
Good call.
Yeah, but I was like, why is that? Now again, we're looking. You can't take any of this with a grain. You have to take all of it with a grain of salt. Sorry. And Chris jokingly said to us that 80% of this is not going to be in the finished movie, which I disagree with. I think probably all this is going to be in the movie, but it's going to be shown out of order, out of context. So we're not meant to understand what it is, and that's fine. All this is meant to do is get us excited for the movie, which it didn't really do for me.
No, it's kind of funny. We're outliers in that regard, I think, because I've heard people just being super pumped for this trailer, and I was actually more excited for the Dark Ray trailer, to tell you the truth, even though that was only a half trailer, quarter trailer at best. And this one, I don't know. I still think it's fine. I don't hate it. I love the music, but. I mean, we don't want the story, I guess. I guess we want to be surprised. But I was kind of hoping for at least one money shot of the Emperor. You know, we know he's in it. I mean, why not
we could show him. I mean,
unless that's too much of a spoiler. But
well, maybe because the way he looks is a spoiler. I don't know. But what's interesting is that they're calling this the final trailer, and that's all the stuff around this is the final trailer, which means we're not going to get any more trailers until. At all, which is weird because usually they release 2 or 3.
Don't forget about the international trailer. There'll probably
it'll be slightly different, but not very much different.
And maybe some TV spots with a few different shots in them, but that's
about it. Yeah. So I think we'll keep an eye on the marketing around this. Hopefully it'll ramp up, and we'll see a lot more of it because it has been fairly quiet. As far as like advertising goes, I don't see a lot. This is like buy your tickets. You know, we have tickets available now, so all the nerds bought their tickets on Monday, and now the regular people. I was at the election at headquarters there, and I'm on my phone, and I was texting you, and you're telling me you got the tickets, and I'm like, yes, and the reporter's like, what's the matter? And I said, I got my Star Wars tickets. And she's like, what, for tomorrow? And I said, no, for December. She's like, oh, what? And so it was kind of like, what are you doing buying tickets for a movie in December? Like the same as you would do for a concert.
Right. Same price if you buy 12.
That's right.
But my friend didn't actually know the tickets were going on sale, and he's a big Star Wars fan. So I don't think there was the competition for them this time.
Actually, I'd be interested to know if there's still tickets available. I'm going to check right now.
There probably is. And then you can also tell us what seats are best at the same time. I got seats all over that place.
Which one did you go to? A Cineplex Polo?
IMAX 3D.
We'll do this after. I'm going to wrap this up because we have to go to class and stuff.
Don't you think our listeners would like to hear how the seat selection happened?
I don't think they care. I don't think they care. We'll talk about it when we go see the movie. How about that?
Did I
We'll
mention
talk
I
about
cut my neck shaving today? I got a little Band-Aid there.
Oh, no.
I guess they don't want to hear that
No,
either.
they don't. All right.
Okay.
That's going to do it for this episode of the Star Wars Nerds. I'm Dan Vadabonker.
I'm Kenton Larson. Don't let the Force hit you in the neck.
Power converters.
That's no moon.
We're all fine here now, thank you. How are you?
TK421, you copy? Now I am the master.
I'm taking an awful risk.